Recording progress.
It's the 7th of Ellul, just. A bit late in the day, but we're still on the 7th of Ellul. In last week's Parasha Shoftim, we learned about being tamim, about being simple with Hashem, our God. And that's really a key part of Teshuvah, the whole idea of Teshuvah, being simple with Hashem. When we're born with this quality of tamimut, of earnestness, of simplicity. And as we grow older, things change. And the tamimus gets covered over to a certain degree. If you look at a young child, they're pure, they're innocent, they're trusting. The child will follow others. They'll do things that other people do, believing that everyone around them is pure and acting correctly. And within each of us, there is a deep part of our soul, our pure, trusting, simple part of our soul. But that becomes hidden over the years. As we grow older, we develop, we start becoming more complex. But these days of Ellul, the times when we're told that before Hashem, we should be purified. When we return to a place of simplicity in ourselves, the inner child in ourselves, as it were, of trusting Hashem. And this tamimus, this simplicity within us, is still there. And it's especially apparent, and it can be especially apparent, during these days, important days of Teshuvah. And it enables us to cry out to Hashem simply and earnestly. And we have this wonderful time of the year when we can, in effect, return to our childlike state. As David HaMelech famously said, like an infant on his mother's lap, we can return to this simple, earnest place within ourselves. And that's an important part of Teshuvah. Be simple with Hashem. Sit quietly with ourselves and return to a place within ourselves that is childlike, that's pure and trusting. The purest place that exists deep within us, which is always there. And from that place in ourselves, we can turn to Hashem and let our crying come forth, letting it flow from our innermost depths. Let us feel that this is the depth of our service within these days, to be tamim, to be whole with Hashem, and to live with this tamimus. There's a famous story which I've heard in many places, and indeed, for those of you who may have remembered the Tintin books, indeed, it was even referred to in the Tintin books in one of their episodes. There's a tale about an elderly man who had a beautiful white beard. And one day, some youngsters started to tease him. And they asked him, "Where on earth do you put your beard when you go to sleep at night? Is it under the blanket, under the sheets, or over them?" And the old man ignored them. But that night, after he got comfortable in bed, he found himself unable to sleep. He turned this way, he turned that way, trying valiantly to remember how his beard had rested the night before. And he couldn't remember. He'd never actually paid any attention to it before. He'd never thought about it previously. But suddenly it was ruining his night. He couldn't sleep. Why am I telling you this story? Why am I even mentioning it? We all have faith, a simple, tangible sense that Hashem runs the world. Then we get too smart, we get too clever, we want to be sophisticated, and we start paying attention to the questions like that man did. Suddenly, we're beset with questions that would never have bothered us if we'd just been simple, straightforward, and held on to our faith. If we let the scoffers get to us, if we let the teasers get to us, if we let the questions get to us, then we can lose what we already have. And that's really the message for today, the thought for today, that we should stay simple, stay pure, be wholesome with Hashem our God. And that way, if we live with simplicity, we can be whole with Hashem and connect with Hashem in ways that we hadn't thought were possible.